I started off by making his little mini sword that goes behind his back, and it is alright. You can see it's I eyeballed it just like I do with almost all my things, and it's basically just a PVC sheet folded against itself, like that, and that's where the blade stops. I've already sanded it down. You can check out my tutorial on how to make a knife to see how I sanded this down, and it is pretty much completed. And I just skipped over this part because you already know how to do it, and this is where the blade stops, and so it's pretty much halfway between the tip of the blade and the handle, and that's because this is just a mini sword that you can draw out for a quick attack. That's Genji's quick sword. I don't know, I'm just gonna call it a quick sword, I don't know. And then you're gonna make a sheath for it, which I've already begun to do here. So I've gotten a PVC pipe, and I've flattened it out with a heat gun, and this fits all the way through to the end, as you can see. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to form the PVC pipe around this thing so it can fit into an actual sheath, and then I'll catch you later. So now I've done the sheath. It is literally just a case for the blade that I've done up for it. Anyway, so it's literally just a case made out of plastic that I bent around it, and I'm just gonna put detail pieces around it with EVA foam like I normally do, and that's the back sword complete that goes around his waist. Moving on to the next part. So next, cut a hole about halfway in thickness wise into the blade. As you can see, it ends right there, about halfway in, so that when you take the sheath and slide it in, where it stops is where you've cut it. So I made the cut right here. So the cut is here, and I got another piece of PVC and cut a ring around it to conform exactly to this shape, which then I cut in half right about here, like straight down, so that it could fit in that hole. Once it fit in that hole, I hot glued the gap together, and I'm gonna file that so that it's smooth. And now it will stop when it gets to the end, and it won't travel anymore. So that's how you make the sheath for this. Now you're gonna make the handle part, which is really simple. You just gotta build up material onto the thing, so I'm gonna use foam for that. Make these little detail pieces by cutting out bits of foam and in this shape, so it goes down and then a 90-degree angle up, and then do the same thing for the other side as one big piece. And then for the blade, just make a rectangular piece that goes all around. Make this shape at the back of the sheath that goes all the way to the top, and cap it off with a piece of foam. I did it badly, so don't use my example. Then get the curved side to form a smile, and then use a knife to cut a circle right here. That's the diameter of the circle, and that's gonna be a circle right there. Next, find the specific point in the sheath and get a rectangular piece to go around it. Cut half circles at the edges to correspond with the other side, so that when you fold it up and cross it over, it will make a full circle. And then do the same on the exact opposite of it, and just cut 2 circles there. Now glue it on so that it makes a full circle. Yay! You're gonna have something in the middle afterwards. Okay, so you're gonna get semi-thick EVA foam, which is just slightly thicker than, slightly thinner than the other one, and you need to cut a ring around it so that it can go around this thing, the same perimeter, and just cut it in there. I'll show you in the next jump cut. A small EVA strip like this that will wrap around like so. Now you need to cut it to shape. Cut holes on either side so that they match up like so. cut in the edges like so that you get like a X shape, and copy the same thing onto the other side. Forget to cut a hole in the middle because it will mimic the same thing on the other side. Wrap it around, glue it on, and then cut out the pieces in the middle. Once you've done that, you can bevel the sides down all the way to the middle so that you get the little shape in detail in the middle. Make sure that you glue it so that the circles are visible on either side. Next, grab a scrap thin piece of EVA foam and wrap it around the top half. You only need the top half of the longer side of the triangle, and you just need to have it so that it starts at where this ends, and you need to trim out the bottom end of the triangle onto this piece. Next, make a piece that wraps all the way around the handle, and make sure that you start it at the end where this starts with this ends. Ignore the stuff I just kind of messed up. Basically you're gonna make this shape that goes around the side of the handle and around the other side, basically symmetrical on both sides. Cut this line into the sheath and wrap around the other side, symmetrical once again, and put a dot right here with a rivet going around it. Cut another piece that will wrap around like so, about halfway where this ends. This diamond pattern that would, when wrapped around this part, will extend all the way up to here, covering the bottom part of the sheath. Cut a small rectangular piece and place it at the top, and that will be your button. Next, cut out this weird shape and then figure out what to do next. Begin to sand down one side of the little piece that you put on earlier, and it should start to curve down onto and be level flush with the surface of the thing, so you have sort of like two triangles facing up, you know? And now you have the handle fully done. Next, prime the foam by heating it up or painting it with 3 layers of PVA glue and water combo to seal it. Then mask off the rest of the handle and paint everything silver. Now mask the sheath as well, remembering to mask inside the holes, very important, and spray paint that grey as well. I cut up little pieces of fluoro green acrylic that I'm going to be using for my Genji sword video. The other one, his other sword, you know, not this one. And I just slit them into the little gaps in between so that it looks a bit more, you know, Genji. Because before it looked like just a regular sword, now it actually looks like Genji's. That is how you make Genji's sword.